Hello, my peeps. Okay. Technical difficulties. I went a couple minutes ago to get myself a cup of tea, and sorry, everything's cockeyed on my desk now. And I came back and my computer screen was black. And I have just now, oops, there's my little balloon that I made. I have just now got it all going again. Very slowly. Not everything is open up that's supposed to be opened up yet. But isn't that the way? Today has to be a quicker class because I have to be able to switch over and get the technology for the next thing to go. And you know how that works. So, of course, I have difficulties logging on. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Tuesdays with Tracey. I'm Tracey. It is the 23rd of January. I am the paper pusher. And I just have a little bit of this and a little bit of that for you tonight, it seems. Yeah, something's all wonky. This little up in the corner face looking thing is way out of whack. Oh, look at that. I got a chat. If you were there, please say hello. I would like to know that people saw my message, even though I totally forgot. Um, I had another unexpected, gotta go sit somewhere for an hour today and dog and whatever. I'm a little behind today. And I was having so much fun playing. I'll tell you the story. Because I almost had to switch. Let's see. I meant to look. Okay. I gotta start putting these things in a different place here. Just a minute. I went to look before I started and I forgot because I was too busy trying to do all the other things. I'm very excited to report that we have enough people for this class. Yay! I get to meet some new people. I'm very excited. But there is still, this is the last call. It says it in big letters, last call. Because after today, I start cutting and prepping and I got the last order of embellishments. And if you want anything else, I need to know tonight. So if anybody was thinking, oh, I need to go make those adorable bee cards, which I can write just about any sentiment on, I better go now. Yes, you better go now. I need to know by the end of the night. Let's put that up there. So I'm doing two things at once. Can you see that on my phone? Yes, I'm trying to double check something. Spring extravaganza, we are already a third sold out. When I made the poster the first time, I forgot to put the deadlines on it. Somebody asked me about them, and I was like, "Oh, darn, that's right." Excuse me. So, excuse me while I do multitask. That's why I'm not looking up, but I am paying attention for the most part. So yes, if you would like to be entered into the early bird draw, last time when we did it, the early bird draw was the dies that went with the stamp set, but because we're doing it differently this year, we're not exactly sure what it's going to be, but it will be dies or a stamp set or something. Maybe there'll be some cool new tool or who knows with the new annual catalog, but it'll be something cool. So anybody who is registered, which means you've filled out the online registration form and you have sent the money, and I have sent you an email back saying you are registered. If you are registered by the 3rd of March, you're entered in that draw. And then the final registration is the 1st of April. And we should know, like right at the end of March, maybe the 1st of April, what the pre-order stuff we can get is. And we will have picked stamp sets. And so we'll give you more information then. But if you know you're coming, because you know it's always a good time and you're going to get lots of stuff. And in colors are so much fun. Then yeah, register before the 3rd. Get in on the draw. There's still time to get in on the paper pumpkin kits. And the dies, if you want to get those, let me know. I did see, I was waiting for them. I thought they should have come out yesterday. They said the first day after the 20th. Or maybe if the 20th falls on a weekend, then Monday counts as the run day, and maybe it's okay. Anyways, I will get it figured out. They changed the system slightly, and I'll get it figured out. But anyways, this was the last set. This was the January set called Lovely Lavender. It says it on the end of the box. And it makes four, I want to say four each of two of these cards, or of these two designs. And then the part you pop out of here, they give you some extra supplies and you can make some extra things. Well, they just announced today that they do have refills. Now, I posted that earlier. The refills never seem to last very long because it's such a good deal. So you don't get the stamp set and the dies, and the ink spot. Sorry, I got dies on the brain. But you do get all of the consumables, all the die cuts, card bases, envelopes. I think maybe there was twine in this kit. Yes, there was. You get all of that with it. I will show you though. Somebody posted they always post alternatives. So this is the card base. And instead of putting just making this into a tag, they tied this into a bow and they put this little popped out part on the card base. Isn't that amazing how simply that card went together and how nice it is. Anyways, if you want these, you need to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber because they'll ask you for your email, or you need to know somebody who is. Hint, hint. Anyways, yeah, let me know. Okay, so I got two other things first. Some of you may know my birthday was last week. What day is today? Today's Tuesday. Last week, and I have such lovely friends in my life who phoned and called and messaged and texted, and I saw, and it was such a I just love it when your birthday comes around. I don't need the attention, birthdays or whatever. I could quite, but at the same time, all these people reaching out, and it's just awesome. It took me until I think yesterday to find all the messages though, because on Friday was a very busy day doing other non-birthday things, and names kept popping up on my phone, and I was like, I haven't heard. Oh, that's been ages. So this was going on all day long. And then when I went to try to like acknowledge all these messages and respond, I couldn't find half of them. So I don't even know what I did differently, but I finally hit the right spot yesterday. So I think I should have got them all, and if I didn't, I apologize. But holy cow, I was having a hard time finding where everything was. But in the meantime, I thought I would show you some of the lovely cards that I got in the mail. This was Miss Marlene, one of our trailblazers. Is this not gorgeous? Funny enough, I just realized I have a piece of this paper in my samples to show you tonight. It's funny. I'm not like an avid bird person or anything, but I love this bird paper, and I love this bird's eye view stamp set. This was from Diane Inkster, a stamping friend in Ontario. This is an awesome card. This paper is great. Let's see. Some of them I can remember, and some of them I'm just double checking so I don't say it wrong. This is from my bestie partner in crime, Tamara. Look how pretty that card is. Ooh, it is so sparkly. Isn't this a nice sentiment? Wishing you everything wonderful. Okay, I gotta put these cards down because I'm having a hard time. This one is Nicole, I believe. Yes. Look at this. Fringe. Oh, there's a special die that does this. And I can't help it. I just like, oh, I love fringe, and I can't help but do that. Anyways, this is a very fun, colorful card. Thank you. I believe this one was the team one. So we have somebody on our team named Jen, who is awesome. And she makes cards for everybody on the team to send out every month. So she's a busy woman making cards. Isn't this pretty? Oh, love these little butterflies. This one must be, I think it's rain. Let me just double check. Yes. Funfold. Whoa. How many times have I opened this card? I don't know. Oh, you know what? This was not a birthday card. This was a thank you card, but it is a lovely card nonetheless. Love there's so much to love about that card. I believe this one was from Jen. So not only does she makes cards for the team, but she made like personal cards too. Look at this. It's a shaker card. Can you see the shakers? Oh, I love it. Very pretty. Love, love, love. And then I saved the last one because I knew I was going to have to like take the skill to get it back together again. I do want to script and pile. This was the birthday card from Lorraine. And I opened this card, I swear to God, an hour after I saw somebody do a similar card. And it was just sort of something that was like scrolling by on Facebook or YouTube or something. And I saw them do it, and I was like, ooh, how did they fold that? Hour later, I get this card, and I was like, oh my God, that's the same fold. So I didn't even have to go back and try to find the video and measure it. Boom, here's the card. So first off, love these nice bright colors. And threes. So it has a belly band. That's what that is. And then you can go like this, but you can go, whoa! I love a fun fold. You just can't stop fun folding. Oh, so thank you, Lauren. Your timing was perfect, and this is an awesome card. So there we go. Thought I'd show you some of those. Let me get the belly band back on. Look at that. All right. Anyway, so much fun. Okay, so then here's my story for today. Because I feel like lately I always have a story. There's always nothing's ever just, hey, you know what I did today? So yesterday I was actually thinking, oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. I better come up with something. So I decided I was going to use this Filled with Happiness set because it's so much fun. And it comes with the punch, which is called the Modern Oval Punch. But when I see this, I see an exaggerated cartoon pill, right? Like, the capsules you take. So that's what I see. So if I call it the pill punch, that's what I'm talking about. But these are like really fun. And I saw some cool, I didn't even have time to look up any of the ones I had previously seen. I saw some cool cards with this. So I thought, oh, I have all sorts of ideas. Let's just play with this one a little bit. So as I said, I was running late. And I start making cards and I have ideas in my head. I'm like, I want to do one with this and one with this. Oh, and you could do it. Oh, yep. So I'm making these cards, and at 2 o'clock, a little reminder goes off. Our CEO, Stampin' Up CEO, Sarah, usually does a live on Tuesdays at 2. And she always just shows product or shows a technique or shows something. And so it's always good. I like to watch it because you get to see inside. And when somebody holds the product and goes, hey, it does this, and look at this, because I'll tell you one thing for sure that I did not realize even looking at this. You see it better, you see it differently, and it gives you more information. So I like to watch just to see what she has to do. Excuse me, I need it. I got the frog. I need a sip. So I wanted to see it. As it turns out, Sarah was not there today. Kevin was there. Kevin Lund, I think he said his last name is. I've actually met him at an event. I think the one in Vancouver he was at. They're all very nice. So he was doing it, but this is the set he picked. So I start watching him and I thought, well, darn it. If Stampin' Up did that one today, I can't do that one. And I thought, who am I kidding? I'm like halfway through this. There's no time to come up with a new idea. We're going with it. But as it turns out, I did get a couple ideas. I didn't have time to do all of them, but I did get a couple ideas while they were doing it. So where did my thing go? So one of the stamps he was using is this one right here. And I saw these in the catalog, and I know how big the punch is, right? And this punch, does it fit something else? Because I feel like we had this punch earlier. This punch came with something in the Christmas catalog. Now that's why, or it was the early release that we could get or something. Because I've had this punch for a little. So this was like another stamp set, and I don't know. That's what I was expecting. Anyways, this Just a Note stamp set will fit on a D block, and you can see there's room. I want to get something that you can actually see. Other than my hat. So you can see, like, there's room on this D block. And that's what I figured all of them were. No. These two, and it does say down here, images at 95%. But I don't always see that, because when it looks like it's, it's close, I don't always notice that. But yes, so some of these images are just slightly reduced. But you actually need the bigger block. I never know what letters these are. Let's see. The E block for the bird and the oranges. And because they are too big, and no matter how you turn them, they are too big to fit on this. Like well, I guess that's not true. I could fit it on, but the edge is so close to the edge that I don't think you're getting full pressure to stamp. So I don't think it'll work. But I mean, maybe you could squish it in there. But anyway, so the bigger block. I was having so much fun though once I started stamping, playing with these things. I told you when you get a new punch to make sure you like try it on a scrap paper first, just to make sure it's not all oily. So this one I had used before, so I just was like, off I went. There's this tiny little stamp in there that has the leaf on it. It's so cute. I used it, I think, on half the insides. So anyways, I started playing. So let me just show you what I came up with. And I did run out of time. I wish I had had more time, because this celebration set called Watercolor Melon, you'll notice that the shape of the watermelon coincides with the shape of the punch. So you can use this punch to punch out the watermelon. Now I have seen some cool things. Like when I look at this and I think, okay, what's triangular? I think of pizzas and I think of cheese. I had seen, because we had a lemon stamp set before, I had seen somebody do what was supposed to be a lemon into a coconut, and I was like, oh, you probably make this into a coconut. And then I saw somebody turn these little watermelon slices into like Doritos, like tortilla chips, and was dipping them in with guacamole. So many fun things. I cannot wait to just see what else I can make with that. But I did run out of time. But yes, it does fit that. Sorry, just gonna make sure nothing falls. Okay, so let's run through some cards and see how we went and see what happens. Maybe I should not pick them all up at once, because I will likely just drop them. Okay, so the most basic thing I did, and why do I like things off center? I don't know, because I'm off center. I don't know. So this one was very simple. I just stamped directly onto the card base, and this is just a card base. And then I colored with watercolor pencils. those watercolor pencils. I used a whole bunch of different things. One of the ideas I had, funny enough, another story, squirrel. Um, one of the ideas I had, because I was looking at something and I was like, oh, I like the way they did that with the watercolor. I was going to do it a different way. And then I thought I should make the same card. So this is what's coming hopefully for next week. It was just going to take more time. I wanted to make the same card, but show it to you like colored or like brought to life like 5 different ways, because it looks different to watercolor, to marker, to blend, to like there's just so many different ways, right? So I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I don't have time to do that today. And then in the end, I used watercolor pencils, markers, and blends today, and just plain old ink. So I sort of give you a sneak peek. But anyways, I'm actually gonna hold this up so you guys can see it. Yeah, I colored this one in pencil though, because if you color in the other in like blends, which is my go-to, it would bleed through onto this. And this is just a single layer card. This is as simple as it gets. I did put some oranges on the inside. I didn't color the ones on the envelope. I just ran out of time, but I did put some color there, and I will show you in a little bit how I made that so that I just got the oranges and not everything around them. But anyways, look how simple that is. And then I think, you know, a little bit of twine goes a long way. So that was sort of, for me, borderline simple. I wanted to put embellishments on it, but I was like, no, Tracey, keep it simple. So that was me trying to keep it simple. I kept forgetting every time I went to do something. I thought, you got to go wet your Stampin' chamois so you can clean some of your card or some of your stamps. I have so much stuff on my desk right now, but every time I went, I forgot, and so I have all these stamps. Now I just have to make sure I don't set anything on top of them. Something I almost always try, if I get a good shape of something, whether it's a punch or a die, I like to see, hey, can I use that like a background, like an embossing folder or something? So that's how this one started. It just kind of morphed into this very bold, hello, you're wonderful. So I'm trying to get that close enough. There we go. I punched those shapes out and then I embossed them. It is much easier to punch than emboss, because if you emboss the paper, it kind of softens it up. And then when you go to punch it, your edges aren't as clean. And on occasion, I have tried to do it and got it stuck in the punch. So this is, I just moved the darn thing. There it is. So this is this hello, you know, you can't even see those. Let me just go back to using the stamp case. So that is this, you're wonderful. But instead of just a note, and it says you're wonderful, I appreciate you. But instead of the just a note, I wanted this hello. So this stamp also says hello, miss you. Where's that stamp? I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it was very easy for me to just take this stamp when I was dipping it in the stamp pad, and just, I didn't come anywhere near the word miss you. I just kind of like this and like turned it so that I was only hitting these words in. And so I got a lovely hello that I just cut out to go over top. I could have done the same thing with just a note. I could have popped up just a note as well, but I just liked it this way. Put a little bit of banner behind it to tie in a bit of the yellow, and I don't know. This card, I just love it. You could also, when you're trying to mask out stuff, you could put a piece of washi tape or a sticky note or the masking paper that Stampin' Up has, put it over top, ink it up, and then just peel off the piece of paper and then stamp. But this one, sometimes that's how you have to do it. This one, it worked quite easily just to kind of maneuver along the edge of the pad. Put that one there for now so I can keep going back to it. Another one that I thought, okay, let's go the this is fairly simple route, was to just stamp directly onto the card. And again, this is just a 1-layer card. I'm rocking it tonight with the 1-layer cards. And then I just stamped on white and popped it up. Now this one I did color with the blends, but it doesn't matter because you can't see the back. And then I just thought I'd have a little fun with the embellishments. There is 2 black dots there, but I was going for a little bit of creativity there. So the other thing you'll notice, and I did it on this one. Did I do it on the first one? I did it sort of on that last one. Nope, that one's the regular one. Do you notice that this stamp says it's a good day and has oranges? And this stamp says happy birthday and has the bird. Well, the beauty of this is underneath this bird is a pile of oranges. But because the little part that punches out covers whatever's below it, you can mix and match all you want. I could have taken, and if I'd had more time, I would have. I could have put, because I was working on the happy birthday one. and take a completely different stamp set. I sort of made a version of it, but take a completely different stamp set, stamp it on a piece of white cardstock, punch it out and put it here. Or the one that says happy birthday, I could have find an image of a cake, punch it out on this side, and it just covers whatever's below it. So mix and match to your heart's content. Now this is the one idea I did get. Kevin said he went by Shannon West's desk. Shannon West's great creativity, and he found the same suite. She had samples on her desk, so he said she's on holidays. I took them. I'll ask for forgiveness later. But one of the things she had done was and I don't remember what her card looked like, but she had stuck one of the butterflies that come from the painted lavender set on it. And so I was trying to show that you could make, just put some DSP down, and then and I have enough stuff on it that maybe it doesn't show well on the camera, but it is there. I punched out the pill to go behind the butterfly, just so it's not like right on top of the busy DSP. Now this punch out came right from this layer of green that is, it's shaded spruce, that is underneath the DSP. I'm not a huge fan of floating DSP. I do have it here on a card, and it's okay, but I like my DSP matted whenever possible. So yeah, I just punched it out and then put the DSP over top, because you'll never know there's a hole in that layer. And then this is simply the thanks from the stamp set. Oops, there we go. And I love it. It's beautiful font. It works great, and I just put it on a piece of paper. Got like a few little black embellishments. And this paper is the, I don't know, bright sunshine or something, sunshine something from Celebration, and it's got so many fabulous patterns in it. I love this dark green and black. Oh, I love the way that looks. Okay, so I had made this card first, right? So this is how it goes. I have another story. Look at that. But I wanted this shape, right? Like I wanted a banner type thing. So I just cut it out. But I thought I really should show you that the thanks and the hello both fit in the thing. So you could just you could just use that as your label for your sentiment too, for this punch. So I started to make it for this card, but then I'm not really sure what I did with it. I had it somewhere here. We'll just use this one because I don't have another one. It was too big, and it was going to cover it was going to cover the top of my bird's head, or I had to go up here, and then it was too close. So it turned out to be the wrong size that I wanted, but I did still use the thanks. I just stamped it onto a piece of paper. So really the only thing on this card is the thanks, but that was the idea. So then I did run out of time, but so then I went back to make it here. So nothing on this card is glued down right now. Actually, I guess you don't really need to see the inside and the envelope. So that was my idea, though, was just put down some DSP and then use this, and I would pop it up, and I don't know, like they have a tool or something sticking up from behind it, but that was the idea. Was it fits perfectly, and it just works as a label. I'm going to move this before I dump them. Just a minute. And then, oh, I never did show you. Just a minute. So let me go back a little before I show you my last card. My fave. Oh, I just love the way it turned out. Okay, so I just move these ones here. They're still kind of in screen. So I actually made this for when I made this card, because you can see by this, if you stamp, it takes this, like this whole image here, and then yes, you can punch out the middle. But I didn't want to waste this much paper when all I wanted was the thing in the middle. So I thought I'm going to make a little template. So I just took a piece of scrap that was there. Let's put those like that. So I just took a little scrap that was there so that I could stamp a little bit closer to the edge, and then I could get more than one stamp on the scrap of paper the white piece that I had left over. Just grabbing some paper. Right, so instead of taking this piece of paper and having to stamp like this, because the whole thing was going to get stamped, or trying to mask off, which it was unnecessary to mask off this part, right? So I just did it like this, so that when I stamped, I could stamp just into the middle, right? And you can see around it. So it kind of works two ways, this little template. So I could stamp like this, and it's very easy to see through these things, and stamp down. And that way, all I got was this, and it was closer to the edge, so easy to punch out. Didn't waste any paper. Now, if I wanted to, if I wanted to stamp like flat, but I wanted to switch the images, same thing would apply, right? I could stamp down this bird, like figure out my positioning, stamp down the bird, then I could put down the inside piece and then take the other stamp. And when I went like this, I could just line it up and then I could stamp, so I would have the other one going around it. So either one of these pieces works as a bit of a template to either not waste paper or to mix and match your outside pieces. If I was doing, where'd my thing go? If I was doing the orange, and I just like, which is what I was originally going to do. If I had just stamped it like this on the edge, no matter which way I would have tried to turn this thing, I would have ended up with words, like just part of the words on the inside of my card. I will show you the other inside thing in a minute. I think I have it on my last card. So I didn't want that. So I also did the same thing when I was, I had a piece of scrap paper over here, but so I did the same thing. That's why there's all this extra stuff here. I used this and I just used it like a mask so that when I went like this, and I mean, any piece would work. This just happened to be the right, what I was doing. So then when I went like this, I inked this up. When I went like this, all I got was the oranges and it masked out all the words and all the lines around it. So it came in handy for that too, which was like the added bonus. So yeah, if you're gonna mix and match and play a lot with this one, I recommend punching this out. And then what I usually, if I make any kind of a template like this, so you can see I have used every stamp in here except for the congratulations stamp. When I do that, I will just bend my little stamp thing. I'm going to pop these in here. And yes, they will occasionally fall out, but I find they fall out less. They do have to be single file, though. If they're stacked, they slide too much. I was trying to get that guy. There we go. Actually, no, I think I'll put the bigger one on the bottom. That makes a bit more sense to me. They fall out on occasion from here, but I find they fall out less than if I just stick them in the middle of the stamp case, because then every time I open the stamp case, I tend to fling them on the floor. So there, I just tuck them into the thing. And so now the next time when I go to do this, if I need a template, I already got one made. I don't have to keep punching out pieces of paper. So most of these I've left as like the image itself as single layer. Except for the last one. Like I said, this turned out, you see things in your head and then they turn out. Here's the little guy that was in the stamp set. Look how cute that is. Sorry, I can't make it focus. Right, it's just a little sprig with a couple berries on it, but that works for most of these. That's what's on the inside. This one I did use the berries from the butterflies from that stamp set. Anyways, here's my fave. Just gotta get my hand in there. There we go. Ta-da! So this is a bit of everything. So I did the crumb cake card base. You can use the punch to punch a window in your layer. Here's the important thing to know. You will not get it centered. The depth of the punch, here, I'll just use this piece of paper. This is a smaller layer, but it'll give you the same idea. The way the punch works, you're going to hit the edge of the punch before you're ever going to get this in the center of your card. So I would suggest don't make it look like try to center it and just have it off, because it will look more like you missed your center. If you're going to put it in the middle, like offset it, or like I did, I put it down in the corner so that it was really obvious that I on purpose put it there. I wasn't trying to center it, because you won't get it centered. But that's okay, because I like offset. And then so I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So I popped this layer up on dimensionals. So what I did was I stamped, I actually punched the hole first. Somewhere around here there's a crumb cake, one of these ovals. I actually punched the hole out first so that I could see where the hole was going to end up, and then I stamped around it. I just put this over top of a piece of scrap paper and I stamped around it, because I thought if I did it the other way and then I happened to be wrong, or I happened to be slightly crooked with the punch. So I did the punch hole first. I stamped around it. This is just the same image stamped on a piece of white cardstock, and it's not even a full piece. It's just a little piece of white cardstock stuck underneath, which I colored. And then I actually stamped this bird on balmy blue. Oh, there we go. Look at that thing focus. On balmy blue cardstock, just because it was sitting there. So I stamped it that way to begin with. There we go, trying to center. And then when I colored, I don't know if you can see, but when I colored, I did color the bird below as balmy blue as well, just so that if you're looking at an angle, you don't see this like glaring white spot. It does look blue. But yeah, so this layer and the bird are at the same level, and the rest is sunk. I love it. And then these are some new embellishments that are, I forgot what they're called. Just a minute, it's right here on the desk. They are called iridescent foil gems. And so they look like they have gold foil in them. But here's the funny thing about gold. If you put it on crumb cake, it looks like crumb cake. But anyways, I love this card. And then I did stamp the little dude in the middle, and I put the little berries on there too. So yeah, I have more ideas that I want to do with this and play with it, but it was fun. It was fun to get this far. And if you wanted to make, I'll put that down there. If you wanted to make a card like this one, sorry, the side of my nose is very itchy right now. If you wanted to make a card like this one, and you don't have to go to the trouble of like coloring the inside if you don't want to, but you could pop out a bunch of these. Like, and even if you're switching out the images and stuff with using your mask, it will go very quickly. I stamped this in black. I colored I used 2 colors to make the peaches or the oranges, but and 1 color for the leaves. It went super quick. So you could make a whole bunch of these to have on hand, to mail out, to give as a gift. Even these ones actually went quite quickly, or recreating them would be quite quickly. Sometimes it was the coming up with the idea that took time. But yeah, recreating them would be quite easy. So it's a very fun set. I'm trying to get them all in the screen, so I don't have to hold them back up again, but let's just see what I can do. Yeah, I gotta do something. Like I said, my head is very large, or the circle's very large, but my head is not as large as the circle. Okay, so there we go. So that was my fun for the day. What did I say this was called? This was called Filled with Happiness. And this is the modern, get the right angle there, modern oval punch. And lots of fun to be had. So to recap, if you want in on the because I don't know what to do with my sheets. Oh, there we go. So let me know if you want the paper pumpkin refills, or if you're going to order them yourselves. I would suggest not waiting. Spring extravaganza, yes, we're about a third sold out, but make sure you register by the 3rd of March if you want to get it on the draw. And then my all things love class, because you can do whatever. I didn't want to call it a Valentine's Day class because I lose people that don't want cards that say Happy Valentine's Day. I'm not sure if any of my samples actually say Happy Valentine's Day. There's lots of other ones that you can add. You'll always be the one for me. You're as sweet as honey. You make my heart buzz. I think one of them says happy birthday. There's one that says love you, happy anniversary. You could put 2 little bees and a Mr. and Mrs. Like, we could make them anything to do with that bees and love, and they're just cute. So I need to know that tonight, though, if you want any of those last seats that are available. I will take pictures of these, get them all watermarked, and get them posted, but that is more than likely going to happen tomorrow, because I have I'm gonna learn a little more. I'm gonna learn a little more technology tonight, and yikes! And if my brain isn't too tired by the end of that, then I will post it. But there's a good chance that it'll happen tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm cutting it short today because I do have to go get ready, as I said. But Tuesdays with Tracey. I love to see you. I will be back on Friday with who knows what.